Hello and welcome to the Story Engine podcast. My name is Kyle Gray, and today on the show we have Christie Ruffino. We are going to learn Christie's process for creating successful, scalable, high-ticket coaching programs using books, amazing guarantees, and the right structure that allows freedom, fun, and sustainability in your coaching programs. So without any further ado, let's hand it over to Christie Ruffino. Christie Ruffino, welcome to the Story Engine podcast.
Hey, Kyle, I'm really excited to be on here with you today.
I'm excited to be diving in. You talk about a lot of my favorite things in the world, high ticket programs, book launches, and all of the sorts. But before we get into the nerdy goodness, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and how you're showing up in the world today to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I am a Florida transplant. I moved to Florida about 2.5 years now from Chicago. I wanted to escape the cold weather. I'm down here. I love it. I have a business now that is allowing me to have more personal freedom where I can play pickleball or just hang out with my little dog, Missy. She's super famous. She has her own newsletter on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So that's who I am as a person. Professionally, I work with coaches, speakers, authors to help them leverage their wisdom in a book to make more money, serve more people, and make a bigger impact in the world.
And you help them with high ticket programs. I'm curious how a book fits in as a tool to launch and fill high ticket programs with the people you work with.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I've been in publishing for about 14 years now, and we've helped a lot of people have a book, whether it's their own book, sharing their wisdom, or they're sharing their story in a collection of with a collection of other amazing stories. And people, at least in the entrepreneurial space, think that once they have that book, it'll be a game changer and people are going to start like throwing their credit cards at them, and it doesn't happen. And so that really frustrated me. I wanted to make sure that my clients, when they invested their time, money, and energy to create their book, that it actually helped them move the needle in their business, serve more people, and allow them to kind of build the life that they want. And so now what we do is we don't help them create their book until they have their high ticket program in place, because we know we want them to have a leveraged business model. And once that is kind of all put together, then we create a book that is going to be the right lead generation machine that will attract the right fit clients and really will serve a lot of them. But the ones that want more help and more personalized support in that area, to use that book as the next step and have calls to action in the book that will drive people to want to learn more about the core program of our clients.
I'm curious, and I've been working in high ticket services myself for a long time, and I've had several books. I have another one coming soon. And my assumption has often been that my high ticket clients don't want to read the book. And I'm curious. Okay. Well,
they don't want to read the book.
Then say more. What's going on here?
Yeah, we can get information anywhere, right? High ticket clients that are serious about growing their business, they want personalized support, mentorship, skills, accountability, community. And so the book itself isn't, the book is going to attract your right fit person to create awareness around you as the expert. And then if you have the right funnel in place, the right, book launch process, the goal is for people to learn who you are, because now you're the expert that has that book. And then the ones that don't want to read the book, that want faster, better results faster, they're going to kind of check you out on your website, right? Check out the different calls to action and everything you're doing to market the book, to then encourage people to somehow get on a call with you, whatever your mechanism is to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. In my books, I have done really well at having lots of useful lead magnets to transition somebody from a reader into a subscriber and hopefully a client down the line. Yep. And I'm curious, what are some of the things between the book and what are some of the lead magnets or processes that you use to really filter out and bring up the right types of clients?
Well, first of all, in your book, you want to have multiple calls to action that go to one page on a website, one central location. Because when you have that dialed in and you're getting people and a lot of traffic to that site, you're going to be able to make changes, updates, make it relative and current. And if you have an event coming up, I feel the best way to get people to learn more about you and possibly want more support is have some sort of an indoctrination event, whether it's a master class, a workshop, whatever that may be. But that's usually how people get introduced to you. And so making sure you have those strategically in your marketing schedule, and then whatever you have in place for your funnel, your sales engine, it's going to be the same for a book, for a podcast, or for whatever you have. But you want to make sure you have a good sales engine in place to get those prospects on a filtering call with hopefully one of your team, and then on a actual we call them strategy sessions with the right fit prospects.
Amazing. You mentioned some of the qualities that make a great high ticket program: personalized support, mentorship, community. Can you go into like a little bit more detail, or how are people usually thinking about these programs wrong? And how do you help them make something that really can capture the right amount of value?
Yeah. So, I think typically entrepreneurs have a hard time owning a high ticket program. They want to start smaller. They want to create a course and, smaller, even smaller offers. But the sooner you can get that high ticket program off the ground, the faster you're going to be positioned as that go-to expert. And then, having a high ticket program, I think one of the big changes I see coming, and I'm so happy that it is, that more and more people are creating guarantees so that the prospects to clients, when they're making that commitment, they feel comfortable that they're actually going to get a result. A lot of coaches kind of put a price tag on, oh, I have all these great resources and tools. I'm going to do all these trainings. And then when the clients go through the process, their business, maybe they learned a lot and there's a lot of great stuff in the program, but it's not actually helping them make more money. So I really believe, based on what your promise is for your program, there has to be some guarantee that your client is going to be better off at the end of that experience, where they're accomplishing that goal, that promise is being delivered, at least in some way, shape, or form. Because there's so many coaches that don't do that. And they look at all the value that they have in their program. And there's great, like you may have a team and you do all this training, you have all these things. But if the client is not actually getting tangible results, then what good is it? So I believe having guaranteed results and having very quantifiable metrics on, at least our clients know where they're starting, they know the goal, and they have milestones that they're meeting along the way. So as they go through that journey with us, they know that things are changing, right? They can tell it in their bank account. They can tell that they've got more clients. Things are actually happening, which is, I think, so important for a high ticket program.
Absolutely. One of the things, like, I'm very confident with my right people that they can make back what they invest in me in giving a talk 2 or 3 times when we create a new signature talk together. But they have to be the right people. So there are some people that they just won't be able to get on stage fast enough, or they will feel maybe fear or anxiety. There's the wrong people. It takes way too much lag time to get in front of the audience and the right people. And so maybe this is a filter factor, but I haven't made as clear of a guarantee as you're saying here because of that. And what I'm sensing I'm missing is not like what I have to offer, but really filtering out and screening the right people with their offers.
Yeah. Well, so we help our clients create a risk reverse guaranteed, where our clients pay a little bit to get in and the future payments are tied to the results. And people love that because it's a partnership, which allows us to step out of the sales role and not try to convince somebody to work with us, but to screen them to make sure that they're qualified before we even say yes. Because if we bring in the wrong person, they're not going to win. We're not going to win. So it allows us to basically have people coming to us and being like, hey, I really want to be a part of this because I need to have a business coach that's my partner in this. And so it does, there's a transition that has to happen when you switch to that type of a model. But once you do, and the word kind of gets out based on the success stories you're already creating, you'll have people just, like lining up, and then you could be completely selective of who you say yes to. Otherwise, in the beginning, you have to work a little harder to help some of those people over the hump. You do. I honestly, I will not lie about that. But once you start getting those success stories, you'll be able to now turn more people away that aren't the right fit, or give them a baby offer. Like, all right, I really want to work with you. I believe in your mission, but let's get you started here first. And then when you're ready, then let's rock it out.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Tell me some of the core problems that somebody who's a perfect fit for this program, what are they experiencing before they start to come to work with you?
Oh my gosh, they're experiencing busyness. They're experiencing everything that happens with the ascension model type of a business plan, right? Where you create content. You're out on social media, you're posting like crazy. Then you create a course, and you're creating a challenge, and you're doing all these things to get, little ticket income in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just creates more busyness, and it creates more chaos. And you see the next shiny object and you're like, oh, I got to try that. Maybe that'll work. And that happens so much in this space where coaches, speakers, and authors, they just keep trying what they feel is the best solution for them at the time based on whatever guru path crosses their path. And the ascension model is exhausting. The ascension model is not profitable. The ascension model isn't going to allow you to ever build a team because you don't have enough money to utilize to bring on a VA or to bring on, coaches or support staff for your clients. And so being able to have the mindset of, I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and create a high ticket program that I may not feel I'm ready for, but having somebody that's going to help make that happen and guide through all the different, obstacles along the way. But the biggest challenge, again, is entrepreneurs playing it safe and playing it small. And it just takes so much longer for you to get to the results that you want that way.
And so your program offers a few things differently. It sounds like we have a book that creates a lot of early momentum. This guarantee system makes sales easier and simpler. What are the other things that make your process better or different for people?
Yeah. So the book doesn't happen right away. So the book happens a little bit down the road. And unfortunately, a lot of people come to us because they want the book, but they don't have the business model in place yet. And so the first step is to get that high ticket program off the ground, get your clients, work out the kinks, right? Because when somebody is really great at coaching in a one-to-one setting, coaching in a group setting is completely different because you have to create a process, right? You have to have some sort of a step-by-step methodology that you can put people into. And so the risk reverse model is a great way to be a differentiator, helping people, helping people by create done for you services. So identify where your clients are going to get stuck and create that done for you service for them to help them get to their next milestone faster. That's another helpful piece. And then just making sure that you understand that the biggest challenge people have in accomplishing a goal isn't that they don't have the right tactics or the right skills, but they don't necessarily have the right mindset. And that can create a lot of kind of lagging in people's success. Is, oh, I got this great light coming on me.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's even coming from. Great.
It's like some blinds, but
yep, it is.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yep. There we go.
Oh, nice move. So. There we go. A little bit different.
I'll just move.
Yeah. And that's mindset right there. That is a case of it.
It is. It wasn't like that a minute ago, but the sun is just moving, and there we go.
This happens to me at about 9 a.m. Most mornings I have the exact same thing. So I have to be careful when I book my shows myself. Okay. So we've gathered a lot. We've got busyness and the exhaustion that comes from creating tons of content, being on social media, courses, challenges, drained energy. constantly going to the next shiny object. And I'm sure before they meet you, they're like, we're seeing Instagram ads and it's just do this, just do that, just do this. And everybody's telling them a different solution. It's a real big headache. And they never have enough profit or energy or money to actually build a team and get them support. And maybe they're like spending so much time creating value and content and all kinds of solutions that they never actually understand how they need to change their business. And some of the things that you do is this guaranteed that makes sales a lot easier and natural. It sounds like getting the real foundations of a high ticket program that will work for you, that delivers value, is really important. And finding the right done for you services. Are these done for you services something that I can partner with or build into my business, or how does that all work?
Well, so for our program specifically, we do a done for you lead magnet funnel. We know how important it is to build their list. The book is a done for you book. Through a series of interviews, we extract the wisdom, the methodology. So they're not stuck or spending their time creating their book. We do a done for you workshop whole process. We do a done for you book launch. I mean, everything that we do with our clients, beyond helping them figure out their methodology, that they have to know their process. But beyond that, we have typically done with you or done for you support.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So you've been in this for a long time and you've understood this. Has there been a moment in your life where you were deep in the busyness of this, where you weren't profitable, you weren't able to be supported, you didn't have enough money to bring on a team, and maybe you were having the headache of all these different business solutions? Is there a specific time and place in your life where this occurred for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is basically my entrepreneurial journey. I've done quite a few things over the last, 2.5 decades. From building a whole women's networking organization to being in the publishing space, and then the coaching. And when I decided to get into coaching, it was constantly this struggle of honestly, one of the coaches that I had to help me grow my organization, she's like, start coaching. And what that did is just created more busyness for me, because the only way I can make more money is by working more. And I'm like, I don't want to work more. I want to work less. And so I went on kind of like a journey after that to try to figure it out. How do I make more money in the coaching space? And it wasn't until I created my high ticket offer. So my high ticket offer is almost 2 years old. I've been doing coaching longer, but before I started this 7-figure book launch program, it was the constant roller coaster ride. Getting on the struggle bus and trying to get off. And it was exhausting.
Where were you physically when your coach said, start coaching?
Oh gosh. Well, that was 2013, maybe.
Okay. But that's when were you? Where were you?
Where was I?
You weren't in Florida yet. We know we
I lived in Chicago, but I was working with a coach that we would go to her facility in like South Carolina or something.
Okay. What was when you were working in Chicago at this time, did you have a home office? Anything like that? Tell me about the home office.
Home office. So I had my own room. In the downstairs of my house, that was my office.
Any details, anything on the walls? Was there windows?
We had 2 windows. I was able to look at the hummingbirds outside my window.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. More of the setting the stage. So yes, my desk was faced toward the window so I could see the hummingbird feeders that I had out. I had a ton of hummingbirds and yellow finches that would always come by the window and make me smile.
Beautiful. And what were some of the other things that you were doing? And how many hours a day were you working at this time?
Well, as a single mom, I was working, I was working more than I should. My kids didn't necessarily have the full attention from me like I would have liked to, because I was just trying to keep our house, keep the bills paid. And so easy 10-hour days, 11-hour days, 12-hour days, weekends, whenever juggling. I was working or taking my kids places. That was my life for so long.
What Is there any ways that your kids treated you or reacted to you or during this time that hurt? You could just tell that what you were doing was painful to them and maybe they were distant or they would ask you a question or anything that you can remember. Nice.
Oh,
We're almost there. We could try and angle your monitor a little bit if we want.
yeah, then everything is going to fall over, and I could shut the blinds, but I don't want to stop right now. Uh, is there any? No, there was really no ways that they acted towards me because of that. I just felt immense guilt that I couldn't.
What were your inner judgments?
My inner judgments were that, um, you know, I couldn't be there for my kids like I wanted to be. I felt like they were latchkey kids, even though they would come home and I was there, but my head was in the computer. And so I wasn't able to be the mom. And I felt like they were almost on their own a lot, neglected.
Do you want close the
light
blinds?
is making me nuts because I'm getting blinded when I stand up there.
Yeah. You can close the blinds. We'll take a sec. We can edit this out.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so much better. And there's
So much better.
time.
I mean, I have this whole thing set up on these windows, but it's just getting me right there.
Yeah.
So
this is home office life. We've got to deal with these things sometime.
Well, pretty soon my dog's going to be like begging me for food too. So it's always something, right? Working at home, but it's great.
It is, especially now. That's a great problem to have compared to what we're exploring here. Okay. So this is a great scene. Now tell me about maybe when you had your high ticket program, a little bit like now in the future, you're able to be a better mom for your kids. You're able to be more present and your business is supporting you. You have a team. What was a moment of this? Maybe you got to take a vacation with your kids. Maybe you had a little bit more spaciousness. When was a real moment of victory where you were supported instead of busy? You had profit to build a team. You had this high ticket model in a way that you had just people lining up to work with you that you knew you could help.
Well, my kids are full grown now. So we're talking about a huge span. When I started with that one coach that encouraged me to be a coach, I didn't change right then. I mean, this was a 10-year journey since then to me to get to a point where I have my high ticket program.
Okay.
And so my kids, I have grandkids now.
Okay. Then did you go on vacation with your grandkids?
That we're almost the ages of my kids were at that time. So good. Yes, I mean, it's great. We can, I have the freedom to be able to do things that I couldn't do with my kids, I can do with my grandkids.
Like what?
Well, we haven't gone on a vacation yet because we can't figure that out with their mom's schedule. But just not being able to I don't know, like being able to say yes as opposed to no, we can't afford that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, whatever they want. I don't know, like whatever they want.
And what is your team?
I'm a grandma.
Like
I don't say no to my grandkids very often.
Of course not. That's why that's where we've gone this far. We worked this hard to say yes to the grandkids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What does your team look like now that's supporting you in this?
Well, I mean, I have integrated partners in my program, other experts that have areas of focus that I don't specifically want to, that's not my area of focus. I have integrated partners. And I am working on building my team. I have an executive assistant that I've had for a while, but then now I'm bringing in more people for my team. So I'm very lean still right now.
Okay, that's great. And any other like specific moments of like, wow, I'm so grateful for this journey? Maybe not necessarily with kids or grandkids, but a moment of freedom and ease and feeling supported by your business spaciousness that you can recall? Yeah,
I mean, I honestly love the fact that I get to travel so much now and travel to awesome places, not just get in a airplane and go to some conference room. It's being able to go on cruises. I'm leaving next week for Mexico for a week. Like it's just being able to have these experiences that are in alignment with my focus right now, like a lot of business trips, but they're fun. I can choose how I want to have that experience be, whether I want to be in a meeting room that day or go to the spa that day. That's kind of what I really love, the space I'm in right now.
Okay, great. Would you like to hear your story?
Sure. Yes.
Why don't you try coaching? This is what I hear my coach say to me. I feel like I'm at the edge of my rope. It's 2013 and I'm in my office right now and I'm already working 10-hour days. Start coaching. Like it's just that simple, like it's just that easy. But I'm so busy creating tons of content, building courses, social media, chaos, the next shiny object. And this is another one of those many things that the next person is like, why don't you do this? Like it's just picking up a penny off of the ground and all of my problems are solved. But I don't have any energy at all. Right now, I'm looking out my window, seeing hummingbirds float by and just wishing that I could be one of them flying away outside. But I have hours and hours and hours more of work. I know my kids will be getting home soon and they're going to just have to put the TV on or a movie. I guess I'm present because I'm in the same building as them, but I don't even know what they think of me after me being in my face in the computer all of the time. And I'm doing my best just to keep our house and keep the bills paid. And anytime I'm not working, I'm frantically driving my kids to the next place. But I don't have any time for me. I don't have time to relax or enjoy myself. And I frankly just feel ashamed of it, despite how hard I'm trying. And now start coaching on top of all of this, trading my time for money. It just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like the model could work for me. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I started and I tried. And what happened was over a 15-year journey of a lot of costly and painful mistakes. I had to figure out what it really meant, not just to coach, but to create a high ticket offer that serves me as well as the people that I'm delivering value to. I needed a way to guarantee results so that sales wasn't this constant battle, but something easy that would get the right people to line up to work with me. And I needed a deep understanding of who could support me and how I could do done for you services that would deliver the right value with it, again, without taking up all of my precious time. I wanted to work less, not more. And like I said, this took so much time and a lot of costly and painful mistakes. I have learned every in and out of high ticket coaching, high ticket sales, and all of the facets that go into it, not just to make something that's profitable, that makes you money, but actually creates freedom and spaciousness in your life. And I'm proud to say, after all of this time, I get to finally say yes to so many more things. I get to say yes to my grandkids, buy them treats, take them on little adventures, and give them what I feel I couldn't give my kids. I get to go on amazing experiences and adventures, some of them for business and some of them for myself. But I don't have to be glued to my computer, stressed out anymore with all of these things. I get to choose whether I'm going to have a meeting over cocktails on the beach in Mexico or enjoy myself in the spa. I'm finally living life on my terms, and I have a system that works for and supports me. Now, friends, this happened over such a long time, and I would give so much to be able to be back and spend that time with my kids. I wish then that I could have had somebody who knew exactly how to put this together in the right way instead of trying to cobble together tens of other solutions and figuring it out for myself. And that's exactly what I've put together for you. And in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to tell you how we can create that freedom and that spaciousness with a high ticket offer for you.
Yay! That was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. Have you used a story like that at your own events or
I didn't go back that far. I have a story, but I didn't go back that far. But I love how it all ties together, and especially where I can bring in the piece where now I can do things with my grandkids that I couldn't do with my kids because I was working way too much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love that connection.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's hard when we're in our own stories and immersed in them, like what's the right thing and what's the valuable thing can sometimes, like we have such an intense emotional relationship to ourselves that we can't really like just Google search our own brain and say like, what's the right moment to bring forward here? Yeah. A lot of times we've got to almost get tricked into finding those right details and moments.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, Christie, it's been amazing, like exploring this unique process. It seems incredibly valuable, and I know you're making such an impact in so many people's lives. So where can we go to learn more about you? And do you have any closing thoughts for us today?
Yeah, I mean, my website, ChristieRuffino.com, there's a resource page where I have a ton of free resources. I'm constantly updating that with whatever's going on right now. And yeah, that's a great way to connect. And no, I don't have any questions. I think this was just phenomenal.
Closing thoughts, not
Closing
questions.
thoughts. Well, so I guess my thought is, and I've been working with people with their stories for, well, since I started in publishing, because that's how I got into the space, by helping people create their stories. And you're so true. Like, we can't figure out our own stories because everything in our life is important to us. It was a critical piece of our journey, but not everything is important to the audience you're in front of. So, reach out to Kyle, like, go through this experience with him, because even though I've had many iterations of my story, he brought out pieces that I never even thought of. So it's a brilliant process. I love it.
Thank you so much. It's the honor of my life to work with brilliant people like you who are established and successful and seeing the little gems along the way. So, Christie, thank you so much for joining me on the Story Engine podcast today.
Thank you, Kyle. This was great.